to take over my mind now. I'm starting to break. I'm starting to break. I'm starting to break down. When trouble my bones fall to the ground. You could be the one that I'm all about. But I'm starting to break. I'm starting to break down. Break down, break down, break
What is up, Level Up Nation, and welcome to the Thursday, October 29th edition of LvLUp Live, your home for gaming and esports news brought to you by OTN Media. My name is Fiasco. That stud over here in the box to the left of me, he's the king of the courtside. That's Joey, the courtside king. Joey, what's poppin', buddy?
Dude, it is Thursday. This week is almost over. League of Legends finals this weekend. Lots of good things to look forward to.
Dude, this show is awesome. I'm so pumped for the show. A lot of good stuff here. But Nation, if you're like, why are they so excited? Why are you guys so fired up for this show? You should be following us on social media and you would know why we're fired up for this show. So if you're not doing so already, make sure you follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at LvLUp Live. That is at LvLUp Live. And while you're at it, wait, I totally lost where I'm at. Oh, yeah. While you're at it, give Joey a follow. Here I am thinking like, okay, Joey, cool, awesome. No, yeah, give Joey a follow at Courtside King. Give myself a follow at Fiasco. If you're watching here live on Twitch, welcome as always. You can see those handles right below those mugshots you're currently staring at. And if you're listening on the podcast down the road, they'll be in the show notes for you below. And Nation, as always, if you do wish to listen to the podcast version of the show, the LvLUp Podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. And since you're listening to the podcast already, why not leave us a really awesome review? I am talking 3.5 stars or higher. Anything below that, we don't want them. Keep it to yourself. Wait until you have something good to say. Reviews do go a long way helping grow the show and reach new listeners, so we do appreciate you taking time out of your day to leave us a really awesome review. All right, Joey. What are we talking about today? Who are we having on? What is happening today on the October 29th edition of LvLUp Live?
John, we have the absolute pleasure of having Josh Hafkin, the founder and CEO of the Game Gym, on today's show. So we'll bring him on in just a second to talk about a lot of hot topics. John, we're talking about the relationship between streamers and game developers, diving a bit into that comment by Alex Hutchinson. We're going to talk Zenimax being acquired by Microsoft and diving into that agreement and what that means for future Zenimax games. COVID-19 and the effect it is currently having on a multicality, really, of local environments for gaming, as well as on a grand scale, as far as globally speaking, and a lot more. So we're excited to bring Josh on. Audience, if you guys can just wait one moment while we load him in here.
Yeah, we're going to bring him on real quick. We're going to hold off on the drink of choice and everything, so it's going to be really cool. Stand by. Coming back in just a few moments, we'll have Josh on with us. And we are back. Sorry for that quick little delay right there, but we are back with Josh Hafkin, founder and CEO of the Game Gym. Welcome to LvLUp Live, Josh.
I'm super excited to be here. Let me mute you because I had Twitch and now I can hear just one of you in my head. But yeah, really excited. I've been looking forward to this all day, and I'm pumped to talk about all kinds of stuff tonight. We got an awesome night.
It is going to be absolutely fantastic. Before we can even start, though, Josh, so we have a tradition here. I know you've watched the show a couple times. So we have this drink of choice segment. We're all of legal age here, so it can be an adult beverage. It doesn't have to be, but chat tends to flame us if it's not. We'll go ahead. Since you're the guest, if you'd like to go first, what is your drink of choice for your appearance today?
So I'm still at work, so I've got the classic water in the coffee cup kind of vibe that I'm rocking tonight. Yeah, it's really it's pure filtered, you know.
Oh my. Oh. Okay, Joey. So chat's over here saying flame never. And then of course the legendary T-Spans comes in and drops a new bomb on you. So simple as that. Joey, your beverage for today's episode, please.
Well, John, I am at work, so I am drinking a cranberry orange seltzer from Aslan Beer Company.
Ooh,
So vibing.
I
rocking
myself
these things lately.
was getting stupid prepared for this edition. So I actually have some barbecue sauce I'm drinking tonight. It's Dave & Buster's barbecue sauce. And if you don't get the reference, I believe for like how many years was Extra Barbecue your handle, Josh?
Many
years.
But you're gonna actually have to drink it. You can't just hold it up.
Oh
right?
no, I'm not drinking it. Are you kidding me? This is an unopened bottle. Like I got
that
ribs
was the
to put
drink
this
of
on.
choice.
No, the
My
drink of
bad.
choice is actually a hard seltzer, which I usually get a lot of crap for. It's truly strawberry lemonade. Flame away, chat. Let's go. I don't even care. Simple as that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Josh, thanks for hopping on. Let's go ahead and jump right into this crazy discussion. So this whole crazy idea happened last week, and we're just going to keep it. It's going to be an open forum. It's not going to be formal or anything. But Alex Hutchinson, one of the creative directors at a Google-owned studio, made a comment on Twitter the other week that kind of set Twitter on a firestorm a little bit. He stated, quote, "The real truth is streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use." Now, Joey and I agree on this. We think that's an absolute trash take. We talked a little bit about it last week on the show as well. But it's just kind of interesting because it, to my knowledge, just hasn't really come up really outside of, DMCAs when it comes to music being used. But when it came to content in video games, especially in the streaming world, this is a really crazy idea that some business people are like, yeah, that actually is a thing that could happen. Meanwhile, streamers are sent back like that would be terrible for streaming and content creation. So we'll just we'll just open it up there, Josh. I mean, you have a very unique background, with your background with Bethesda, but also now with the Game Gym, where you're looking at, the next generation of gamers and the next generation of streamers. We'll start with the Game Gym standpoint of it. If this was an idea that came to fruition, what does that mean for our next generation of streamers?
So I think at a certain point here, this is the way the music is going. Like if you look at the industry, music has made this transition, and now you have to have a license. And I think that at this point, like, we should all be aware that if you are using somebody's content, that they could put more clamps on that in the way that the music industry has done. My whole business is using other people's IP to, play our games and teach our other things. If League of Legends decides to have a youth academy one day, they could tell us that we can't use and teach League of Legends. Like, that's part of the difference here, is that the game is a business and they own that, and they can tell you who can and can't play with it. So, do I think it's not a good idea? I agree with you guys, but like I also think that there's a lot of people who are interested in the dollars, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out in the future.
I don't know if you want to hop in there or not, Joe. I
Yeah,
can
this is
continue.
going to be one of these fun things, chat. So we've mainly done like formal interviews, minus Grant hopping on for late night level up that one time. So it's going to be a little different here, trying to keep things fluid. There's going to be some little hiccups like that where you just watch us all stare blankly into the camera, but it's going to be fun as well. I think one of the things, Josh, so when you worked at Bethesda, did anything like this ever come up over there?
No, I mean streaming. I wasn't as involved with the community stuff. I was doing the marketing and kind of different things. But I think it'll be really interesting to see. There's a lot of people um, are making streaming a huge part of their marketing platform their whole lives. So it is interesting to know that one of the high level people at one of the big time organizations is thinking this way, and I imagine that a lot of other people are too. So we should all be aware of that and prepare in certain ways, which is kind of scary.
And it's interesting. You hit on the marketing aspect of it. For the longest time, there was kind of like this unspoken rule or unspoken understanding that, streamers gave free publicity, free marketing for these games. I mean, when you take a look at games like Fortnite and even Apex Legends, when that came out of nowhere, it was streamers that really picked it up and went running. Like a lot of people may not remember, Fortnite was around way before the Battle Royale mode came out. It was essentially like a Horde mode PvE kind of game. And then Battle Royale came out, and then it just blew up, especially with major streamers like Ninja picking it up. So that was essentially free publicity for Fortnite, and people are looking at the game saying, hey, not to use Fortnite as an example, but a game that's pay to play, I don't know if I want to sink another $30, $40, $50, $60 into a game. I'd rather watch somebody else play to see if it's a game I'd actually like before I buy it. If a developer paid like the actual rate that it would cost for, like, let's say a Ninja to play your game on stream to 150,000 concurrent viewers for 2 hours, I mean, that's massive exposure for your game title out there. And it's really, in my opinion, at least, a pretty beneficial for both parties experience that way. Is that kind of like the overall understanding in the industry, that it's like, it's good for the streamer and it's good for the developer in that sense?
Honestly, I'm the worst person to be asking. I've been out of this industry. I've been out of the like publishing for 3 years now. The how things have shifted, and now things are they're having conversations that I wasn't having a couple years ago. The way that people are using streaming to get their games out there, the Among Us phenomenon, like all of these things, like you're absolutely right, there's so much value, and personally I think it's a wonderful thing to have streamers have access to these tools that allow them to one, develop a platform for themselves, but also give these games a really great platform. I think that it's a great symbiotic relationship right now. And I think as long as, the money, which is what will drive all the decisions at the end of the day, keeps flowing in both directions, then it'll be fine. But if developers realize that they can make a larger portion if they do it a different way, they will. I think that's all industries. You look at music was free. We used to be able to do everything we wanted to on YouTube, and now we can't. Now you got to pay for it, because they realize that they could make money that way. So like that's like, dude, I run a business based on using games IP. They could reach out to us and send us a cease and desist at any point. Like I kind of teach kids about this. Like the difference between sports and esports is that no one owns the game of basketball. Like we could start a basketball league, camp, whatever team tomorrow, but developers own the ball, and they can say who can and can't play with it, and how you can play with it, and then what parameters you could play with it. And I think that that's a really important distinction to remember here as we're discussing kind of all aspects of people who interact with or use this these IPs in certain ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you brought up a big one as well, Josh, just recently, Among Us. So Among Us is a game that released, I think it was like 2018, if I remember correctly, like summer of 2018. Now it's out here in the wild. I'd never heard of it before like last month.
Yeah.
Now come October, September 2020, we're all stuck in a house, we're all quarantined, and here we are, Among Us. This 2-year-old game just absolutely pops up out of nowhere, and you have Ninja, you have Pokimane, you have a ton of big stars out there just playing this game, and it is just popping off. Before that, Fall Guys. Again, it didn't release years ago, but it's still a small game that came out, smaller developer. It might not have done anything, but then you have Tim the Tatman going weeks upon weeks of trying to get this crown, and it just builds up that excitement, builds up that hype. It was a huge marketing tool for both Among Us and Fall Guys in that area. So I definitely think there's an argument that can be made for that marketing side as well.
I agree with that. I mean, every game pretty much uses or contracts out some streamers if they're interested in going that avenue. You know, they can work with streamers who will play their games, and you know, that's definitely part of a lot of video game marketing. You know, I think that there's the difference between whether it's paid or organic. And if developers feel as though they can get the benefit out of paid and organic will follow, then they may start to limit who can play the game and how. It'll be interesting because it's hard to let it be organic and also put parameters on it. So, you know, I'm really interested I wish I could be a fly on the wall for the meetings that this guy was in afterwards, you know, like
Oh man.
imagine that, like those Zoom calls, you know.
This is one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
I was talking with Joey, that same day those tweets came out, and it's like, really, how quick is Google going to try to distance themselves from this guy? And it pretty much took a full day, but it was one of those things where it was like, Google and Google Stadia don't support the idea of this guy. I mean, it's essentially what they said. And it's like, but it brings up a valid point. And, it's something you touched on too, is the idea that some streamers are actually paid to stream these games. It may not be a game they're interested in. Maybe it was never a game on their radar, but that developer, says, hey, we have room in our marketing budget. How about we hire so-and-so to play this game for a week for X amount of hours and see what kind of exposure we get, see what kind of, traction we get from the gamer population, and let's see where it goes from there. I mean, we see it all the time with games in closed beta or even a closed alpha, where streamers and content creators get access, and it's mainly to build that hype. Some of them are a little more vocal on their critiques. Some of them are just like, oh, the game's an alpha, we're going to excuse X, Y, and Z. But it is a valid point to look at, is that streamers can also be part of that marketing budget for these developers to really help push their product as well.
Totally. I think that the meeting that went on in this back room at Google was either like, you told them our plan, or like, what are you doing? And I would love to know which one it was. Like, we'll find out. The coolest thing is we'll all be around. We'll find out in a couple of years whether they start coming after people, and we'll pull up this video and it'll be great.
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, and I've said it on the show before, I do not think the Google Stadia is going to last very long. I really don't. I just feel like so many more resources are being put into Microsoft's xCloud, Amazon's Luna, NVIDIA, I think will eventually move forward with a different like app type of platform as well. It feels like one of those things that Google has made in the past, where if it doesn't have a huge success up front, it starts to get killed off nice and slowly later on. So I feel like if projects still continue to fail on their end, I don't know if they support it much longer.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I could, it's like they were kind of first out of the gate in a way, and maybe because they knew that it wasn't going to last, but if they were first, they might have a chance, Yeah,
it's weird because it feels like for Google Stadia, they're under that whole idea that no publicity, or that all publicity is good publicity, even if it's negative. Because like, I remember when Google Stadia launched, everyone's like, yes, Google Stadia, it's great. And then like within like 3 hours, like, oh, the lag's horrible. And that was the theme for like the next 3 weeks, is that Google Stadia's lag was just absolutely atrocious and the games were unplayable. And then it kind of faded away. Cloud gaming would pop up here and there, but it usually wasn't, Google Stadia in a good light. It was, oh, Microsoft is going to challenge Google Stadia. It's so-and-so is going to challenge Google Stadia. And then the next time it blows up in trends on Twitter is when a creative director from a studio with Google Stadia makes a very controversial statement, you know, but again, I mean, we see the power of streamers all the time, how they can draw people in. And, you know, I'm going to go off of T-Span's comment here real quick. And he brings up AOC. And, you know, now gaming being used in like different avenues, and AOC, you know, she's the representative out of New York, for the US Congress. You know, she hopped on Twitter. First off, gets instantly verified on Twitter. Hello, Twitter. Not Twitter. I'm sorry, Twitter. Twitch. We've been here for how many years and we still can't get verified on Twitch? Come on now. Yeah. So she hops on, and she plays Among Us, and she tops out at 436,000 viewers, which is the second most viewers in a debut, next to Ninja and Drake, I believe. So that's absolutely massive. But you see what kind of power streaming video games actually has, what kind of pull it has in that community. I mean, first time streaming, within 5 minutes, she had almost 500,000 people watching. If you're a developer, you're sitting here going like, wait a minute, this would be an amazing way to bring people to our game. Now, then you also have the political thing of like, oh, well, who are we partnering with and what message does that send? But in this case, you know, AOC really kind of opening that door and showing the power of streaming to, let's say, our older generations, on what, you know, streaming is capable of, and what the younger generations, you know, millennials and Gen Z, what we're capable of. And then also bringing that political aspect into it in an election year, really.
Dude, that was an incredible like night that all went down, and
so
and
cool.
regardless of side that you're on, I think that all politicians should have to play Among Us live for their constituents. It really does like show you a little bit about, you know, who the person is, and you get to see them in this kind of like very casual sense. I thought it was great. You know, I think it's great that our politicians are engaging with the youth in this way and trying to get people engaged. And you know, her comment about like, oh, this thing runs on fossil fuel, like those things are great. You know, I think it's interesting to see how Twitch is a new way to connect with people, and I'm all for it. You know, I only want more.
Absolutely love it. It's a different way to approach an audience as well at their level. So maybe this gamer that just watches Twitch videos or wants to continue to improve at League of Legends or Overwatch doesn't necessarily want to watch a presidential debate. This is a way to bring those politics to them, allow them to really get an understanding of what's going on, allow them to understand the importance of voting as well. So I think really good stuff there. Also, unlike presidential debates, we do fact check here. John, she was the third highest on Twitch,
Third highest,
behind
my
Ninja and
apologies.
Drake. And number 2 was Shroud on his return to Twitch.
Gotcha.
So that is that out there. She was number 3, though, which is huge. First time streamer, just verified, comes out, pops off for the 3rd overall ever on Twitch. Really, really big debut.
It's cool. I feel like all these things, like those moments, they happen very organically, and they also, you know, like Drake and Juju Schuster-Smith and Ninja all teaming up. They all like, you know, shot each other some messages, and then they squatted up, and that the whole thing, like that night that happened, like the gaming was on the map. You know, the power of streaming, the power of those organic moments, like, you know, you could see it all kind of happening as she was like, hey, want to do this? And then, you know, Pokimane reached out, and like other people, and you could see the snowball kind of forming. And I think that's like, if a developer does put parameters on, you know, what people can stream, you lose those moments. And I would say that the Juju Schuster-Smith moment, the AOC moment, the Shroud moment was planned, but the other two happened organically. And that's like, to me, that's what has made Twitch so special, is being a part of those moments together with your friends, watching it live. And you know, just my last comment on the you know, Stadia thing is, if they put the box on that, you know, you'll get moments, but they won't be organic. They won't be that special. And I think that like that would definitely, there would be a big loss to the industry if that happened.
And then like for the next generation of streamers, like let's say this came to fruition. Now, not only do you have to buy a PC that's capable of streaming, and let's be completely honest here, PCs that can stream can be pretty expensive, like that you can play a game on and stream at the same time. Very, very expensive. And if you go the dual PC route to stream, that's even more expensive. So streaming itself isn't cheap to get into. And then on top of it, now you're going to have to pay for a broadcasting license for one game that you want to play. If you're a streamer that plays multiple games, that's multiple licenses you have to have. You are literally killing the next generation of streamers and content creators. And, I was watching YouTube prior to, the show tonight, and I came across a video about, 5 YouTube channels that were big 3 years ago. And it's like, wow, it's only 3 years ago these channels were massive. And it's these names that I used to watch. And then like these guys, these content creators just absolutely dropped off the face of the earth. YouTube is a very competitive platform. Twitch is just as competitive with people trying to make it. And when you put that big of an entry price into the game, it just makes it so much harder to have people that want to go that route.
You're right. You're totally right. The only thing I can really think of and look at as a good comparison, or as some kind of foreboding, if we can, is music. Like, you used to have DJs who owned their own radio station, who would play what they want, and music was local, and you had a radio station and a DJ who, became famous for playing certain things or not playing certain things. And what did Clear Channel Radio do? What did these other massive organizations do? They fired all those people, put in their guy, told them what to play, and now it doesn't matter where you go, whether you're in Massachusetts or San Diego, you hear the same damn thing on the radio because one company owns it. So like at the end of the day, like that's kind of how as much as we all are gonna sit here and be angry, like that's what happened with music, and they don't care because we're still buying it. And my favorite artist in the whole wide world is Tom Petty, and he's got this great song called "The Last DJ," and there's this line in it. He's like, he talks about trying to the guys in the record labels just trying to figure out how how to get you to pay for something that used to be free. And like, that was their whole thing. And like, that's probably how it's going too. In the future, they want to control, and that's how you make a lot of money. And it's sad, but if it's going to follow music, it's going to be a real pain to us all.
Josh, let's go ahead and date ourselves here real quick. Do you remember the good old days of LimeWire and Napster and everything?
Dude,
like where we just
yes.
like, oh yeah,
Yes.
I heard about this band called System of a Down. I'm just going to go download them on LimeWire, and hopefully I don't get like 18 viruses.
And what
on my
happened to
computer.
Napster?
Yeah.
That dude got like thrown in jail. Dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Like that's the thing. Like, this is IP that is super valuable that we don't own. And if we're making money off of it, and enough money, somebody's going to come after that money. That's the realness at the end of the day. And that's scary.
Absolutely. Definitely like the music industry comparison. We'll see how this continues to play out as Google Stadia continues to develop their plans. But on the topic of money, Josh, possibly the biggest gaming news all year long, Zenimax, a company you used to work for, Bethesda, they ended up being acquired by Microsoft. Now, acquired technically, it's still in the works. The deal is not finalized until probably early 2021. But what are your thoughts on this deal overall? Did you ever see something like this occurring?
No, I never saw it occurring, and it's amazing that they kept it under wraps. Imagine how many people have to be involved in a deal like that to get done, and yet no one knew about it. It's pretty amazing. I'm excited. I think that this is like a good merger. I think Xbox needed some cool, really awesome exclusives. I know not everything's going to be exclusive, but like there will be some. And I also think that Bethesda has now so many more resources and opportunities opened up to them. So, I mean, it really does. To me, it seems like a really great marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a very interesting deal to watch and how it all plays out. And like you said, just keeping it under wraps is absolutely stellar. The fact that they were able to release that knowledge right before pre-orders went live is ginormous. I mean, not necessarily that it's going to swing the needle way away from PlayStation. I think PlayStation still sells extremely well overall, but it's definitely one of those things that will make some people maybe second guess that pre-order before it happens.
Oh, totally. I mean, there's I think that there's a bunch of people who will make that swing because of that. But I also think that PlayStation's just crushing them, so it's not going to help that much.
Oh yeah, especially worldwide.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Yeah.
definitely has the lead worldwide. So with that in mind, you mentioned exclusivity. They've kind of tiptoed around it, both Bethesda and Microsoft so far. Personally, I think it's because the deal has not been actually finalized yet. With everything in the works, I think legally, I don't know if they can say what exclusivity is going to look like. With that in mind, do you think all these titles go exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem?
I mean, you gotta, if you're spending a lot of money like that, you kind of probably are going to shift that way eventually. It may not happen immediately, but I mean, all I have to go by is what these guys are saying out loud. I think that they've kind of not been definitive. I don't. It maybe is because the deal is not 100% signed, but I think also they might be still working those details out. Like it's not something that you could just kind of like look at and be like, oh, this and this and this and like, oh, we want Skyrim but we don't want X. Like I feel like it's interesting to see how it's going to play out, but I really don't know. I think that they could be, they could hold on to a couple key IPs and then let everything else go, or do the opposite where you kind of like, give everyone Skyrim, but then like you really want to play Dishonored or Wolfenstein, you're going to play it on Xbox. It'll be interesting to see which way they go.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. I think one of the big things is like Elder Scrolls Online and all those current online platforms. I doubt they take them away from people that already have them. Kind of like Minecraft in a sense, that's pushed out to everything. Twitch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, it's available just about everywhere, mobile even. As far as Elder Scrolls Online, I really think it's going to be the same thing. I think all those future updates will continue to go to all platforms. I think it's your big blockbusters, your Starfield, your Elder Scrolls, potentially the next big one with 6. Wolfenstein, like you mentioned, a few of those other big titles. I personally think those are going to go Xbox exclusive, but anything that's MMO wise is going to go PlayStation as well.
That I would bet on that. That seems like a good bet. Yeah, I could totally dig that.
So,
Absolutely.
So real quick, I know you probably saw some people from Bethesda that follow you on social media. I saw this tweet. I'm not quite sure who tweeted it. Something about a battle royale with Doom's movement, Wolfenstein's combat design. First I have to ask you. Well, one, I love the idea. Two, do we need another battle royale game in this oversaturated battle royale market already? But I do love the idea, Josh. I think it does sound great. As someone who Wolfenstein was really one of my entry games into gaming, watching my dad play Wolfenstein because the game was too violent and for a kid, watch him play Wolfenstein growing up. I love this idea, and especially in a Fallout world, that's like a post-apocalyptic world. Just out of curiosity, you're around a lot of the younger generation at the game gym and everything. Fortnite is still popular for some reason. Do we need another battle royale?
I think battle royales are fun, man. They're popular. I think that battle royale will be a genre that will exist. There will always be battle royales and different takes on battle royales. I've really been enjoying playing Apex lately. And I feel like they've really hit a great stride. I love like the new armor system, making everything an Evo shield and doing a couple other things that they've done. And their new map looks awesome. And I just saw that and I was like, man, like Bethesda has all of these elements. If they just put them together in this one thing, and Battle Royale, I feel like it's a lot harder to create a story from top to bottom. But with a Battle Royale, there's like some simplicity in it. You like randomize items, your map stays the same, and it's just you let the players and things play out organically. And I think that's what's so cool about Battle Royale. Like each time you load in, it's like I might have different teammates, I might have different loot, I might have different drops. So there's like an addictiveness to it that's super fun. You add in some great lore that Bethesda has and some great mechanics that they have too. I mean, it seems like it seems like it could be a cool thing.
Okay, Josh, so you're dropping into this Fallout Battle Royale. What is the first weapon you're going to find?
Wow. So think about it. You got Doom, you got the Doom shotgun, the double barrel shotgun, classic shotgun. You got some Wolfenstein dual like machine guns. You've got like the armor suit from Fallout. There's like a number of things. Like I feel like they have so many cool, unique weapons. Dishonored, you have all the Dishonored abilities and things like that. I'm going for the double barrel shotgun though. That's just a classic, and nothing more awesome than like when he cocks it and they fly out, he cocks it back, and you just keep on going on your rampage. Like that's pretty awesome.
I mean, Joe, you kind of asked him a trick question. The correct answer is whatever the RNG engine gives him in the first loot crate he comes across.
Oh, of course.
There you go.
Of course.
Yeah. You take what you get when you drop into Battle Royale. Some days you might get that double barrel pump action shotguns. Other days you might get stuck with that starting knife you get in the old school Wolfenstein 3D game, and you're dead in 30 seconds. It's as long look. Whatever it is, please just don't incorporate building like for the older millennials out there. Can we just get rid of the building aspect of it? Like my fingers don't move that fast. Like just let me go out and shoot people. That's all I want.
I feel like I'm pulling my walker up next to yours as I say, I agree 10,000%. Like I totally agree. Just let's battle it out.
Oh my gosh, it's
So it's interesting you brought this up to Josh, because now I have another kind of follow-up question. So with Nintendo, they have all these big legendary IPs, and obviously they brought them all together in Super Smash Brothers. Sometimes you see some action in Mario Kart as well. Do you think we eventually see something where now you have the Microsoft IPs, the Bethesda IPs / Zenimax? Could we eventually see some of that all get mushed together in some type of game, you think?
That would be amazing. I think that if somebody can put a good pitch together, I don't see why, that can't happen. If you think about, Smash Ultimate as a massive success that pulls from, all corners of kind of fandom and other kind of, games have tried this, like Jump Force. They brought all the different anime characters together, or like Marvel vs. Capcom. Like people love those moments where you bring your heroes together. And I think that like there's so many unique IPs that Bethesda has that doing some kind of, give me a new fighter. Street Fighter 5 is kind of like on the downhill. Nobody's playing Smash anymore because the netcode's so bad. Like, where's my like awesome new fighting game, like with all Bethesda IP? Like that would be epic.
Right. And Microsoft had Killer Instinct, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit too. So there is definitely room in there for some kind of new fighter to come out for sure.
Oh yeah. Man, now I'm just percolating ideas, man. I can't I hope that, somebody from Bethesda is listening. We can give them a little report when we're done.
Just be glad that Google doesn't own those IPs. They might charge you for those ideas over there.
I'm sure they're coming.
Well, whatever chance at a Google sponsorship that we were up for, it's out the window with all the trashing we're doing on Google.
Look, I love Google. I use Google every day.
Right.
Yeah, so side note real quick, did you guys hear Apple's going to create a search engine to rival Google?
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it earlier today. Apparently like it's already like secretly rolled out on iPhones. I haven't even bothered to look. I've been too busy today, but yeah, just randomly throwing that out there. But let's change subjects a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about current events. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of an ongoing pandemic. The light at the end of the tunnel doesn't seem like it's coming anytime soon. And gaming has really become an outlet for a lot of people. Really that source of entertainment, that source of socialization, that source of, we're humans, we're social creatures. Like even the most introverted person needs social interaction. Like they have some of that craving. So it's a little less than some other people, but it's still there. And gaming's really been a unique experience. Like we've seen numbers boom. I think like at one point, you take Among Us, for example, that thing exploded overnight in due part to a lot of streamers, but also the need for social interaction and how gaming can provide that. But the other thing is it has a lot of impact on in-person events. And Josh, at the Game Gym, you guys have done a lot of flex tournaments. They've been absolutely fantastic. I think the last one I was at had over 150 people. I mean, it's popping. Like what you guys are doing at the Game Gym, you and your staff are just absolutely killing it. And then all of a sudden this pandemic comes out of nowhere, slaps us across the face. And, you know, like the rest of the world, we're struggling to find a way to still bring that content, still bring those teachable moments, still bring competition to people who look up to us to do that. So like, you know, you have the DMV Into Summer Bash, the winter events coming up in December as well. You know, the DMV, you had a great name for it. It is the trifecta.
Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. There we go. That's right.
Yeah.
So, you know, Game Jim's doing their part, bringing in a lot of sponsors and everything to really help get that up and running. You know, from a business standpoint, what has it been like for you in the Game Jim, really trying to continue your goal and helping grow the next generation of gamers in a healthy way when you have to do it all online? I imagine it's the same kind of struggles that our teachers and educators around the world are still struggling with you know, Zoom teaching. You know, my mom's a kindergarten teacher. She's trying to teach kindergartens how to cut with scissors on Zoom, and it's a nightmare, you know? So how are you in the Game Jim working on that?
Well, let me just say that your mom is probably a saint, because
I agree.
You know, like it's been a challenge. You know, I think that one of the things that has helped us is that the gaming community is more willing to connect via this medium, I think, than other people who aren't normally used to communicating via their computer. So in that sense, like, it was nice. People kind of like leaned into it a little bit. But it's been also really hard. Like, I miss seeing you guys. I miss seeing, you know, the kids. I miss seeing the coaches. Like, I come here every day into work and I'm by myself, and it's kind of sad. And, you know, like, I just miss when the whole gym was like you talked about, was packed. But I think that, you know, it's also opened up a ton of opportunities. We did a deal with the Washington Wizards. We did a deal with the Virginia Youth Soccer Association and our friend Dana. You know, we did the end of summer bash. We never would have done that if COVID hadn't, you know, forced us and made us kind of think, all right, how can we do these things online? So I think that, you know, COVID has been really, really hard. Financially, we got really hit hard. I'm still paying for a venue that we cannot operate out of. So, you know, the money that we're generating through our online camps kind of just, you know, goes to pay for a venue we can't operate out of, which is painful to say the least. But I think also it's opened up new opportunities. It's given us a broader reach. And, you know, I look at like what we did with the end of summer bash, and like you guys included, like we all did this. Like, we raised $11,000 for Children's National, and like none of that would have happened if we hadn't like done all the things that like led up to it. So I'd say that like it's been really, really hard, but also at the same time, there's a bunch of silver linings, and a lot of other people have had it way worse. So we're trying to keep it in perspective.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at a few things, Josh, your Discord server has blown up. That thing is ginormous now. Not only that, but we've casted Rocket League tournaments. I think it's like 10, 12 different countries represented in the last one. I mean, that is a global Game Jim reach right there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, a lot of the props goes out to our tournament organizer. His name's Johnny. His tag's Icy Chiller. He's been in the industry for 16 years. He's an old Halo pro. I think you guys should have him on, because he'll tell you some stories, and he'll definitely have a couple of drinks of choice with you guys too. And he's a great dude. I really do think that his knowledge of like how to get people into the pipeline, from being in the industry so long, is a lot of why, you know, we've been able to expand in that way, which has been just so cool. And again, something we invested in, because we're not doing live tournaments. You know, I would be doing flex tournaments and things like that, but with COVID, we had to look out, and luckily we met Johnny.
We're too busy throwing up the Joey puns in chat after his his icy cool comment. The Joey pun, probably our most used channel emote.
I mean, it's pretty amazing
of Joey and his endless bank of puns that just absolutely drive me up. Well, so what we're gonna do. We're going to do a little QA. We're going to open up the chat a little bit. You can either ask a follow-up question in regards to one of the topics we had on today. You can ask a really random, appropriate question in chat. That's directed at T-Spans mainly. So we'll go ahead and open it up. D-Rod, a.k.a. Dana from VYSA. Josh, what are your top 5 games right now?
All right, so I'd say Apex I've been just crushing Apex lately. It's been super fun. I don't know why. I've played a bunch of battle royales, but I really enjoy the mechanics, and I hate fall damage. I hate it. It's the stupidest thing ever. I hate dying because I like fell down. Like that's just, I can get shot twice in the chest with a shotgun, and that doesn't take me out. But if I fall, I die. No, like I'm out.
It's real though.
Yeah. Yeah. So Apex, I would say Smash, Among Us. I've been playing some Crab Fight. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but Crab Fight is a wonderful game that you could get on the Nintendo Switch. Their developers reached out to us and sent us a couple codes, and it is awesome. Definitely look up the trailer for that if chat, because you guys will enjoy it. And I think that's it. I don't have a fifth. Yeah.
Joey, give me 2 games you're currently hyped up on. And they don't have to be Sea of Thieves. It can be one of your mobile games that you play by yourself because no one cares about mobile gaming anyway other than you.
Mobile hating.
But, it could, Joey, what are 2 games you're currently playing that you're pretty hyped up on?
Guys, I am obsessed with Rogue Company right now, and Ranked comes out next week. I can now confirm that is the plan at the moment. So if you guys have not checked that out, it's a 4v4 game, kind of gunplay mechanics of like a Fortnite minus the building. And then it kind of takes that third-person perspective as well. On top of that, the game modes, it has one that kind of plays out like a very quick version of Valorant or CSGO. There's also that traditional deathmatch type of mode in there with a little central point. Free to play on PC, cross-play, cross-save, cross-everything. Highly recommend checking that one out. Other than that, I am currently doing my normal thing of every time this year where I grind League of Legends right at the end of the season to hopefully tap myself right into the end of gold before the season ends. So that is my current struggle as well.
I have laid off the League of Legends because it's made me a bad person. So I've kind of put that aside once again until my toxicity can cool down. No, Rogue Company is another great one, or as our good friend Pat calls it, Rogue One. Rogue Company is a great game. And Rocket League. We're doing a lot of casting for Rocket League, but that is a game that just constantly has me coming back to it. One of our OTN Discord members, Tots, plays Rocket League with me. We go duos all the time. A lot of fun. Rocket League is such a simple in the concept of the game, but at the same time, it's always fun. It gets you that competitive edge, and you get a really cool looking card too. Even if you drop money for microtransactions for really cool gold explosions. We're moving on though. We're not going to talk about how much money I spend in microtransactions. I believe Ian had a question, and I love this question. I still have my barbecue sauce sitting here, so it's perfect for this. Question for all 3 of us. Are you a brisket or pulled pork kind of dude? We'll start with our guest.
Ooh. That's really hard. I like both a lot. I'm going to go pulled pork. I really like pulled pork. It's delicious.
Joey?
It depends what Icy Chiller is making that night. No,
That's fair.
In all honesty, I'm a huge fan. I will not turn down a nice pulled pork or brisket, but if I had to choose between one, it's going to be pulled pork for me.
I'm going to be the odd man out. I'm going with the brisket. I love me a good brisket. Nothing against pulled pork. It's also favorite. Like, they're both favorite. But I would go brisket in this case. I love me a good brisket.
I think what we need to do is have Ian make us both.
Oh,
And then we try them, and then we'll let him know which one we like more.
I'm down for that.
For the winter event. Oh, it's not
Winter games.
Winter games.
Yeah,
Winter games.
games.
Yeah.
We will be up there. Ian, there better be some barbecue, my dude.
Dude, I talked to Johnny. Johnny's actually going to be here too. I'm going to probably rent a grill and we'll put it out back, and we'll socially distance, and we'll have a nice little barbecue.
Ian is totally backing out, going, I'm going to get it from Mission Barbecue. You know what? I'm going to time him out. That is such a. I'm not going to do that.
The place is great.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
But time him out anyway. Yeah.
Panicking Pat. That is Pat of Esports Fair Play. Josh, I know you recently watched Chef's Table BBQ on Netflix. what is your favorite episode and why?
Have you guys seen this series?
I've not.
I have.
It's incredible. It's incredibly well done, and also like the food is amazing. Which episode? I really, really liked the first one. It like they do a really great job of like talking about the barbecue while telling you the story of the pitmaster. And the pitmaster is this like grandma, like lovable lady named Tootsie. And yeah, that like, yeah, it was very heartfelt, and I think I probably shed a tear as well. But yeah, I really definitely think that one, you should watch it, and two, just watch the first one, and then you'll be hooked.
Joey's comment in chat makes me want to ask you a question. On when it comes to the morality behind pre-orders.
Oh no.
But I don't know if I really want to go down that road or not. You know what? We've already gone this far.
Might as well.
Josh, what is your opinion? So obviously we know the new consoles coming out are selling like hotcakes. They're gone in like seconds. It feels like, these are $500 machines. What do you think about the people who pre-order more than one? And I'm not talking like, oh, I have two kids, I got two Xboxes or two PlayStation 5s. I'm talking about the adult male who pre-orders 8 for the purpose of reselling. Like, what is your opinion on people who do that?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, everybody's just trying to make $1, I don't think it's great. But at the same time, like, trash humans. Says
no one said names. Nobody said Pat.
Oh,
so nobody should be going after him. Oh,
wow. Wait. But is he gonna sell them to like his friends? Like,
no.
Us? If that's the case, then I'm totally cool for it. But
no, he's flipping them. He's gonna flip all of them except
look,
for like
honestly,
the one he wants it.
I'm all for it. I think it's super smart. Good for you, Pat. You're way smarter than the rest of us. They do it with houses, Yeah,
seriously.
That's great.
It just cracks me. Just out of curiosity, have you pre-ordered? Have you gotten the chance to pre-order? Were you one of the lucky ones that got a pre-order? Is there a certain console you're looking forward to?
Not really. I'm not an exclusive. I'm not like I'll tell you what, the last thing I got because of an exclusive was PlayStation because of Street Fighter V. I had an Xbox at the time. I bought a PlayStation because I wanted to play Street Fighter. But since then, I've not really wanted this or that. And I'm really happy with my PC. I've got a great PC, and I play most of the games that I want on here. And like, I miss out on, a game here and there, but I'm not really in the market for a console at the moment, if shall we say. What about you guys?
I mean, I feel like we have to recuse ourselves. I mean, Joey's known as an Xbox shill on the show. So, obviously, he's Team Microsoft all day. I've had nothing but Sony's my entire life. I've had a PlayStation 2, 3, 4. I am not happy with Sony at the moment. I've been very critical with how they've handled the release of the PlayStation 5. I believe tomorrow, everyone who got the advanced PlayStation 5s are able to open the lower left flap of the covering on the console. And then next week they can open the top right flap. So they've been able to bring it out of the box, but they can't take it out of the PlayStation bubble wrap yet. So Sony's being very ridiculous when it comes to the hands-on experience with that behemoth of a console. Oh, look at that. Okay, so Chad, if you didn't see, Joey put a poll up. How do you feel about pre-ordering the next generation consoles to resale? That's not pointed at anyone in specific.
Where
Again,
is this poll?
It's in the Twitch chat.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
It's not looking so hot so far. Not to give anything away, but out of the option, wow, it is growing right before my eyes. There is one
That's great.
person so far that has said make the money. I know you guys can't see the results yet, but let's just put it that way. That is what statistics would call an outlier. That wouldn't. It is so brutal right now. Oh my gosh. Perks of watching the live show. If you're listening on the podcast, that's awesome. We appreciate it, but you've got to come join the fun here on the live show as well on twitch.tv/OTN Media. We have amazing topics and amazing guests like Josh hop on. So definitely look forward to trying to, if you can. We understand, time is precious. So, if you have free moments, stop on by. If not, you can always catch us at your convenience on the podcast as well. Let's see here. Panicking. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We'll go ahead and do it. I like this. Tell us about the Winter Games. What is the Triple Crown here? So, obviously, the show, we're based out of the DMV area. That's the DC, Maryland, Virginia region. We've worked with you before on several events, including the DMV End of Summer Bash. But now there's this new project, this Triple Crown that we touched on a little bit. Tell us a little bit about, what that is, what we can expect, who can participate, what's going on with that, and kind of just how it came to fruition.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to shamelessly plug this thing.
Go for it.
I'm really excited. It's so we actually when Game Jam first started, around December of our first year, we tried this event called Ignite. And the goal was to bring local people together to have a local competition. And we got a couple people showed up, and it was just a little early in our career to be trying something like that. And so, we what I've always wanted to be able to do, and what I've realized is that, there's no reason to practice if there's no championship. There's no reason to study if there's no test. So, what we did was, looking at the school calendar, we created 3 events: the Summer Bash, Winter Games, and what's going to be called the Spring Summit. And our goal is to make a championship and give our region a local championship to kind of buy into, showcase the talent. I think that I'm really proud of our production team, our events team, our marketing team, our creative team. Everything that we do is created and run, by kids and people who are, under 25, who are hoping to get into the industry. And I think what we do is really amazing, and I'm proud of our crew. I also extend that to Johnny, who's doing the tournaments, you guys who are casting, the Justice are involved, and Pre is going to be casting with us again. It's an opportunity to showcase everybody's hard work, and do it to raise money for charity. And I think that for me, I get to have the championship that we wanted to create. We get to do something good for the community and Children's National, and I feel it's a win-win-win. And I'm just really, really excited about this upcoming one, December 4th to the 6th. So put it on your schedules. I know it's on your schedules, but everybody at home. Yeah.
And just the results, mainly for our podcast listeners here, of that poll, it was overwhelmingly in the negative. I believe Nah Bro and Hell Nah got 6 votes, and Make That Money got 2. So unfortunately, an overwhelming scientific poll that predicts the entire audience, we're going to go with that, believes flipping Xboxes is not cool. But you know what, Pat, we still love you. It's fine. We don't judge you, just on Twitter and the show, so it's fine. Dana with another great question. I love this question. I love these kinds of questions. Josh, who has been the most influential person that has guided your career?
Oh, wow.
Boom.
Yeah, that's a big one. I was not expecting the heaviness. I've had a ton of really great people who have helped and been given advice and support. I've really been impressed with so many people being willing to give me just time or connect me with somebody, so many people. But I'll go with somebody that I feel like people know, and also just I can tell you some stories about him because he's the man. when I was at Bethesda, I got to work with Pete Hines, and we're not like best friends. We don't go golfing on Sundays, but like I just got to like be in the room and watch him, and I love the way he carried himself. I love the way he stuck up for people. I love the way he like was loyal and honest, and he he's kind of like this very seemingly kind of tough and like intimidating person, but also he's incredibly caring, incredibly thoughtful, and I just really I really treasured the time that I got to like learn from him when I was at Bethesda.
Really cool.
What
So
about you guys?
Oh,
I'd
that's a
love to
good
hear
question.
like
Yeah. Joey, you can go.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know on that one
Good
yet.
luck.
Do you guys have any like broadcast like heroes or like
Yes,
people that you
I can totally
like?
answer this one.
Yeah.
So falls in the realm of traditional sports. Vin Scully is a personal like announcer hero of mine. Longtime announcer for the Dodgers. He has an iconic voice. He has an iconic way of being able to describe the action on the field. And for a sport like baseball that I can admit is very dry and boring at times, he has a way of intertwining the action on the field with history, with personal accounts of players in baseball past and present, and just really being that bridge that baseball has really made a living off of, and that's the history and tradition of the game. Baseball really led the way back in history when it came to a lot of major social events like Jackie Robinson and breaking the color barrier. That was a massive moment. If baseball is considered the national pastime of America, and Jackie Robinson coming in to Major League Baseball, it was a huge thing. And you can watch 42. It's an absolutely outstanding movie that really gives a glimpse into what life may have been like for Jackie when he was breaking the color barrier in baseball. And now in baseball, we celebrate him to this day, not just with Jackie Robinson Day, where everyone wears number 42, but number 42 is retired all across baseball. And hearing those stories from like a Vin Scully, who I'm pretty sure lived through that era. Like he knows a lot about what happened with baseball and these personal players and everything. Like listening to him was such an honor and just a treat to even be around to experience someone as legendary as Vin Scully. So he was kind of the person like when I was back in high school that got me into announcing. And that's when I started doing like soccer games, baseball, softball, football, field hockey, and even ice hockey back in high school. My passion for like announcing and wanting to be that voice for people, that sorts of entertainment, came from Vin Scully.
Wow, that's such a cool story, man. Thank you for sharing that.
That was beautiful, John. Absolutely gorgeous.
Shut up, Joey.
I mean, it's cool.
No, it was
I mean,
great.
it's like, but to me, I don't have a relationship with an announcer like that. To me, they just seem like a voice. So to hear it put in that way, I think is really cool.
I mean, Josh, what are you saying about us then?
Well, I have relationships with you guys beyond your voices.
That's what I like to hear.
That's great. Yeah, moving on.
Joey, do you have anyone that influenced?
Oh,
or are you going to take a hard pass on this one?
No, I'll do it. So you went the historical, very legendary route. I think I'll go more of the modern day route then. I'll stick with sports. For me, Tony Romo. And I know a lot of people, with a lot of our listeners being here in the DC area, are probably like, ugh, cowboy guy. But I love the way that he breaks down color in a way that it's not really there in sports previously. And the ability to really diagnose plays as someone who recently came out of the NFL, to be able to say, this is what's going to happen, this is who the ball is going to, just that next level, really almost a forecasting of the play, is just something as a color commentator that I absolutely adore. When you look at color commentary, it's typically the breakdown of the play. Why did this happen? How should they adjust? Not this is what is going to happen. This is how they're going to react. And this is what the outcome is going to be. So it's just very cool to see Tony Romo really have that deep understanding of the game and the playbooks in general of the NFL to be able to predict the way he does.
He's been a soothsayer, like in his, it's been amazing, like how he can just, he knows what's going to happen. And also I think it's a lot of, sometimes it's, you know, what's going to happen, but being able to articulate it is difficult. He can both know and articulate it so that everybody understand what's going to happen, which I feel like is an additional skill.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are coming towards the end of the show. We're going to take one more question we have here in chat from Pat. Josh, as an entrepreneur, what are some of the mistakes you wish you could have avoided? So yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of us are, you know, early stage entrepreneurs. You know, we're out there, we're trying to make a name for ourselves. You know, it's a really weird time when you take a look. You know, like in our lifespan alone, we've had so many like ups and downs when it comes to the economy. You know, we've had so many weird things happen in the world. We're currently in the middle of an international pandemic still. You know, how does that go into you being an entrepreneur, and what were some of those early mistakes, if any?
Oh, dude, there's way more than I'm proud of. I think there's a couple. One of the big ones I'd say is just like your money never goes as far as you think it's going to. I feel like ever since I've done this, I've been, you know, short on money since inception, and we've not done it in a VC route where we, you know, are trying to you know, put game gyms all over the country and do it in this way that like we aren't ready and the industry is not ready for either. We're doing this thing where we're like kind of investing here locally, which has had its, you know, benefits and you know, pluses and minuses. You know, I think the venue itself, you know, you could argue that a lot of the money that I've spent has gone into having a physical venue, and a lot of esports organizations don't do that at all. They're 100% online, and looking back on things, I wonder if I would have had a smaller venue or less investment in a physical space. I could have put that money into a digital platform. But I also feel as though like we wouldn't be who we are without having a physical space and being together and figuring it out, and, you know, setting the vibe of like you walk in the place. So, you know, it's hard to say, like, you know, time will tell if it's a mistake or not. Like right now, I wish I could get out of my lease. You know, but it feels like it's pass fail, you know, and like every day I go into work and it's pass fail, and, you know, I feel like that's easier because, you know, you're on the line. So, yeah, I definitely, you know, maybe a smaller venue, those kinds of things, you know, saving as much money as I can. I think also the other thing that I did was, I got distracted by other things or different things. Like, remember we did Game Gym TV. T-Spans was giving me crap about that earlier. And you know, at the end of the day, I should have been prepping for our summer camps, because that's where our bread and butter get made. And, you know, during December, January, I was starting to do this content thing, which was also important. But at the end of the day, like, camps generate revenue for us, and GGTV was marketing. And I think I need to, like, you know, put the blinders on and not get distracted by shiny things, and kind of like, you know, be working on, you know, our summer plans, training our summer coaches, like having the best presentations. Like, so this year we're working on our content for next summer now. So we're working on the content now. We're handing it off to creative and production to create our own custom graphics, our own custom videos, get clips of the things that we're talking about. And our program is going to be so much more robust because I, you know, wasted time with GGTV last year, and I've just like learned from it. So, yeah, those are a couple, I guess. I'm sure there's more.
No, I think you brought up some really great points there. And in all honesty, like, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone who's looking to even get started in streaming or trying to go pro in gaming, like, failure is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you know, it's okay to be distracted by the shiny object. If it works out, awesome, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. It's like a learning moment. Like, you get to better understand where you are, not just as a person, but as you know, where you are in your organization, where your organization is at. You know, so, you know, it's only really a loss, if you will, if you don't learn from it. Like, it's that age old motto, like you never lose unless you don't learn from that mistake. So, you know, I feel like falling down is part of the process, but it's about getting back up, learning from it, and going farther the next time. You know, we just recently had episode 200 of LvLUp, and, you know, we kind of poked fun at our early beginnings. You know, we played a little bit of episode 1. I still have nightmares of that. On stream, we showed a little bit of our graphics that we had back in the day compared to what we have now. And it's like, you know, what we thought might have been cool at that time, we're looking back and we're like, God, I'm so happy we changed from how we were doing that. I'm so glad we changed the logo. I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad we did that. And it's like, you know, that really was kind of cringe, but would we be where we are today if we didn't make those mistakes, those bumps in the roads, those kind of cringe-worthy moments, if you will, to kind of learn from and then kind of grow on from there. So, no, great question. Thanks, Pat. Great questions from chat as well. Thank you so much for asking the questions. We do have one more topic we want to hit on.
Just before we jump to that, I do want to say, like, if you guys are streamers or podcasters or whatever, and your numbers are not there, just keep going at it. Maybe look at changing a couple things here and there, but just keep with it. Like when Jon and I started out, it was like, hey, Mom, would you mind downloading our podcast so we can have that 1 or 2 listener to get things started? And now we're here with hundreds of listeners per episode. So you got to start small. It'll take time to get up there. You might not get there in a couple years. You might not get there in a decade. Who knows? But eventually, if you keep trying, if you keep finding networking connections like we have Josh on today, you can make friends along the way. You can get advice along the way. And it's not going to be 100 viewers, 100 listeners overnight. You got to work your way up there. So don't get discouraged. Just keep at it. Keep asking people for advice as well.
And also, don't get discouraged when you ask your mom to download the podcast and you have to explain what a podcast is. You know, so Joey almost spit on stream. That would have been amazing. That was perfect timing. Thank you, Joey, for helping that punchline hit a little bit harder. So great. We do have one more topic. You know, Josh, feel free to jump in. I'm not sure your background if you follow League of Legends at all. Yes, I mean, people in North America have already tuned out. It's not even worth our paying attention at the moment because we suck at it, apparently. But the championship is around the corner, as Joey so nicely pointed out to me earlier today. 7 a.m. Eastern time for those of us on the East Coast. If you're out on the West Coast, yeah, you have beaches. Yes, you have amazing weather, but you're going to have to wake up at like 4 a.m. to watch Worlds. So how about that? So we do have the championship coming up this Saturday. It is between Suning and Damwon Gaming. Suning really kind of the underdog, pushing their way all the way through, taking down major teams like JD Gaming and Top Esports. Now they're going up against the powerhouse of Damwon Gaming. It's Korea versus China. It's that amazing matchup. And yes, D-Rod, Mandalorian also is tomorrow. But we're talking Saturday now. So yes, I'm totally stoked for the Mandalorian as well. Joey, I know we touched on a little bit on Monday's episode, but do we want to give predictions here? What do you want to do?
Oh yeah, we want predictions, especially if Josh has not followed it as well. We might as well. So Damwon Gaming comes from South Korea, and then on the other side we have Suning from China of the LPL, who has won it the last 2 years in a row. The LPL is a region, not Suning.
Yeah, I'm aware of the League of Legends, guys.
I know the Teemo.
I'm going with Damwon. I feel like that's it's I've seen them a couple times have some great they had a great Worlds run last year, I want to say 2 years ago.
I think they got knocked out by G2, but yeah, it was in the quarters or semis.
They were playing pretty well. I saw a couple of those matches. We watched them here. It was early. I had my Gavin, one of our guys, is a big league guy, so I woke up early and watched him. So I'm gonna go with them because that's the name that I know. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Josh going with the old, I like the color of their jersey pick right there.
Yeah, what are the two mascots?
Suning's a lion, and
like
a lion versus
what's Damwon?
Versus a Greek-looking pillar thing.
Yeah, something like that. It's something.
The pillar falls on the lion. I don't know.
Oh, heyo. Okay,
Yeah.
Josh, we're not going to let you off that easy, though. We actually do the series record as well. So in a best of 5 game, what's Damwon going to win by?
No pressure. All reputation on the line.
I don't know. I think they'll win 3-0. They're just going to clean sweep it.
Another year of a clean sweep in the finals.
I don't know. Maybe. Have they done that in the past? Have they winning like
I think the last 2 years it's been
I think the last
sweep.
2 years, we're 3-0 for China over Europe.
I meant in Worlds so far. Have they been like cleaning up, or has it been tight?
Oh, no, Damwon's been cleaning up. It's been 3-0
right?
and 3-1.
Yeah. 3-0. Damn Juan.
All right, Joey. Pretty sure I get my prediction.
Sticking with. So I did my prediction at the beginning of Worlds. Yeah. My prediction was Damwon 3-1 over Top Esports at the time. Top Esports got knocked out by Suning, but I am keeping my prediction Damwon 3-1. I think Suning does have a good fight. I think their jungler and their bot lane are quite good, but Damwon is just playing on another level right now.
Joe, I'm going to spice it up.
Oh,
got my extra spicy barbecue sauce right here in honor of our guest today. I'm taking Damwon also, but I'm going to say 5 games. I'm going to say 3-2. I'm pretty sure that's what I said on Monday. I can't remember. I know I said Damwon, so we're sticking with that. But I'm going to go 3-2. I'm going to give Suning the chance to pull off the upset in Game 5. We're going to have international silver scrapes, Joey, come this Saturday. We're not going to go back to bed early. You know, it's not going to be a 3-0 sweep. We're not going to be back in bed by 10 a.m. to catch a little quick power nap. You know, it's going to be back in by noon. We're going to have to get on with the rest of our day. It's going all 5 games.
I would love to see that. It's just, you know, good sports.
All right, Joey. So are we just going to it's going to throw it down? We're just going to
I think we can wrap up here. Josh, is there anything else you want to say to the listeners? And then you can plug your socials and all that good stuff as well.
No, thank you guys for being with us. It's awesome. I you know, I think that it's so cool to look in the chat and see all of our friends. I know you told me not to use names, sorry. But it's good to see everybody, and I really I can't wait till we can like get all in like together again and like do happy hours and things like that, do drink of choice in person. But thank you guys. I love the show. I love what you guys do. You know, I've listened to a bunch of it, and it feels really cool to be able to be here as a guest. So thank you guys for giving me the honor. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for joining us again. Josh Hafkin of The Game Gym. Make sure to follow The Game Gym if you're not already, especially if you're in the DMV area. If you're not in the DMV area, they're really leading the way in youth esport development for gamers. You should be following them. If you're not, you're absolutely crazy. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Game Gym Esports. Make sure to check out their website as well, gamegym.com. And Extra Barbecue Josh, of course. Make sure to follow him on socials as well at Game Gym Josh on Twitter. And I believe his Instagram is Extra Barbecue, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So Josh, again, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and do our little outro. We're going to get you involved in this too. It is mandatory to participate. So what happens is I play a cool little ditty. I say a couple words. Joey hops on, says a couple words. I try to wrap things up. I wish everyone a great weekend. And then at the end, we do this really cringy thing where we say level up together. On stream, it doesn't really work. But the beauty of editing audio is I get to have everything line up post-production. So it sounds great for our podcast listeners. So we're going to see how bad this goes. So what we're going to be listening for is, you know, I'm going to be like, remember, be nice to your fellow gamers online. And as always, awkward pause, level up. And then we'll close it out from there. So we will give it a shot. This is trial by error. You're going to be the first guest to try to do this with us. So
I'm ready.
It is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Level up.
Yeah,
I blew it. I blew it already. I'm sorry.
Good stuff there. And big shout out to T-Spans. Thank you so much for putting the links in chat as well for the Game Gym. Again, definitely check out the Game Gym, really leading the way. And we couldn't be happier to call Josh and the great folks at Game Gym, some of our closest friends here in the DMV area. So again, thank you. And let's go ahead and wrap this up because I got some drinking to get done. It's Thirsty Thursday, my guys. I mean, come on.
Ooh.
Well, Nation, that will do it for this edition of LvLUp Live. But before you go, head on over to patreon.com/OTN and consider becoming a part of the Overtime Network. And they're both dancing. This is great. In addition to joining OTN, you'll be able to access exclusive content that nobody else in the world can get unless they are part of the Overtime Network. If you haven't already, make sure you follow the show here on Twitch to catch the next episode of LvLUp Live. If you listen to our show on the podcast feed, please do leave us a really awesome review. The LvLUp Podcast is available on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. We would love to hear from you. In fact, we love to hear from our listeners and viewers so much we have other ways for you to interact with us and the show. Joey, the king of the courtside, where can LvLUp Nation go to interact with us?
LvLUp Nation, head on over to Twitter and find us at LvLUp Live. That is LvLUP Live. In addition to that, you can follow the umbrella company OTN Media on Twitter and Facebook as well at OTN Media, and on Instagram at OTN_media. Last but not least, hit us with a follow, a like, a subscribe. We love it all over here on Twitch, and that is twitch.tv/OTN Media. This show, LvLUp, is Mondays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, Nation, make sure you tune in this upcoming Monday, November 2nd. Yes, it's November already. As we cover the latest and greatest in gaming and esports news, do your ears and eyes a favor. Hit that sub and follow button to know when the next episode of LvLUp Live is ready for your viewing pleasures. We will catch you all on Monday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Halloween if you're able to do so safely. And remember, be nice to your fellow gamers online. And you guys ready? Here we go. Ready for this? And as always,
Level up.
I think we do.
Bleach like ice, tracing all my scars. Why is it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us so, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you, you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. I break you, you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. Frozen in my dream, I can't escape the thoughts of you. If I try to leave, when I'm with you I can't move.